The chain of responsibility pattern passes a request along a chain of handlers until one handles it. A purchase request travels through manager, director, and CEO until someone approves it. Picture a company expense system in Java. A single method, ExpenseService.approve, must decide who signs off a purchase request based on its amount. Small amounts go to a manager, larger ones to a director, the biggest to the CEO. Every rule and approver is tangled into one rigid place. Look at this approve method. A deep nested if-else ladder compares the expense amount against limits hard-coded right here, then prints which role approved. Every new approval tier forces us to edit this method. The limits are scattered, and the sender must know every possible receiver. Now we design an abstract approver that holds a successor reference. setNext returns that successor for easy chaining. If a request fits this approver's limit, it signs off. Otherwise, it forwards the request to the next approver. Each approver owns only its own limit. Manager, then director, then CEO. The purchase request hops from handler to handler, the active one glowing, until someone is authorized to approve it. Look at this diagram. The abstract approver class holds a next reference, with methods setNext and approve. 3 concrete approvers inherit from it. The client links them together. Manager points to director, director points to CEO. Each handler connects to its successor, forming a linear chain starting at the head. Look at the old version, one approve method with a rigid, brittle stack of if-else branches. Compare the chain. Each approver has a slim approve, linked through setNext. Adding a vice president approver means writing one new class and inserting a single link. No changes to other handlers or the caller. The chain of responsibility decouples a request sender from its receivers. No giant conditional. Each handler owns one job, and the chain reorders at runtime. Client, approver, concrete approver, next.